Guys, I want you to check out this next video, and if you don't get what this guy is saying, then you should check yourself upstairs. Yes.
Number one, who told you that you must go to school? Where did you get the idea from? Who ingrained that thinking into you? A child is not supposed to go to school until the child is 4 years old. Because we destroyed the public education, a generation of private school owners came and started coming up with products to take money from our pocket and program us into the bondage of education. So they start talking of preschool, kindergarten, all kinds of names for the first 4 years. You can be a stay-at-home mom and run things from home and take care of the formative stage of your children. When it's now time for them to go to school, the most important education is primary and secondary. Case closed.
I agree.
Anything after secondary school, you are fooling yourself. Majority of the university today, they are all just wasting their life away. Because many of the courses you are studying is useless. The world is changing.
Yeah.
The day you enter school,
by
the time you graduate in 5 years' time, everything you have learned is useless. Over 80% of what you learn in university is useless in the real world. So what are we killing ourselves in university?
I've said this thing so many times. Whenever I say it, people look at me like I'm one crazy person. Why am I saying this thing? But I went to school. Yes, you see this school, now scam to an extent. I'm not saying going to school is something bad or we shouldn't go to school. That's not what I'm saying. I went. But what I'm saying is most of us had no business with university.
You don't know any trade. You don't have anything. After you finish 22 years in school, the first letter you write is I beg to apply. So the educational system was programmed to make you a beggar, so that you can be begging for job, because we have people graduating, they can't create job, they are seeking for job. Once you have finished primary school and you have discovered purpose, from primary school you can now say, okay, I'm going to catering school 3 years or 2 years. I'm going to tailoring school 2 years. You will now go and study to develop the skill that you have discovered.
And you can become a chef
from that point.
At 13.
Because most of the courses people are studying now, they are trying to solve yesterday's problem. The courses that will solve tomorrow's problem does not require 4 years. Why? Because certification is almost every 6 months. New things are coming out. So you need between 6 months to 18, 2 years max, to be focused on the basics of any skill or career, and then you continue to grow in that career.
What about computer programming?
If that's the simplest one, in 6
Online.
weeks you can start making money.
Online.
In 6 weeks.
You don't need to go to spend 4 years.
Cyber security, all manner of stuff going on. You can sit in your house and you'll be making millions in dollars legally. There are schools in this Lagos that will teach you that free of charge. People are not looking for that. They want to go and do 4 years, and then 4 years that will become 6 years, because it's the programming. Because when we're growing up, our parents want you to be a doctor, lawyer, engineer. All those courses are useless now. AI is taking over.
What I'm hearing you is
we should about law. Law is
we should
there is nothing called law, but it expired. They are all expired courses. Law, medicine.
It's about
AI is doing it, and Watson will take over. The law you are studying law in Nigeria. When you get to England, you can't practice. You have to acclimatize to their own. You do their bar. You go to America and say, but the software now, AI, will be a global lawyer.
To go and study medicine.
Antieni, there are AI now, there are robots now. We're in the fourth, in fact, we're in the 15th doctorate of Antieni. That I will put the machine on your body now. It will tell me everything about you from A to Z, from A to 2, the state of your kidney, your liver, your lung, and the treatment you need to have. Do you know there are tablets you can take now, just one vitamin? Everything you need for your whole day is inside. You don't need to eat.
Sir, I agree with most of the things.
And you'll be okay. So I'm not saying that those things will not be needed, but the number of people that are going in there will be left stranded, because by the time you come out, we need 50. There are 5 million of you. You will not be stranded. So we need to begin to think
differently.
Yeah,
that's it.
I get
because
that.
the way forward is you must be a value creator. Many people are in the marketplace, they are not offering value. They are just going to collect. And what does it mean? Money flows in exchange for value. What is value? Meeting needs, solving problems, and answering questions. So you must have something you are offering your generation that they are paying you for. I have 2 master's degrees, I have 2 PhD. Not all. I went to school, so I have 2 PhD. So I'm not saying that you should not go to school. I'm not saying that you don't need education. But when you are going to school, be going to school because you really need it. Be going to school because it is important to help you to become who you are supposed to be. Many people already discover what they are supposed to do. I'm supposed to be a fashion designer, but because of this programming, you want to first go and do medicine.
Yes, sir.
Then you now come back to that. You want to first do architecture first. That is the deception I'm talking about. And then when you are going to school, don't go to school based on the programming of the courses you think will help you to be marketable. Go to school to study the courses that will help you to solve the problem of the world you are living in. Many of us are mirroring our parents' dreams and desires. That's why the popular courses now, do you know that in our own days, if you have told your mom you want to be an actor, an actress, they will have said you are a prostitute, they will have said you are doing this, you want to be a footballer, they will say, hey, God, who did this to me? But now, we are in the same case now. If a child comes to you now and say, Mommy, I want to be a drone pilot, will you agree? If your child comes to you today now and say, I want to go into robotics, will you agree? I want to be a graphic artist, will you agree? Because in your consciousness, being a graphic artist is not a career. Graphic artist, they draw picture. That is the program that we have all been programmed in. The colonial masters messed us up, and we are messing up the next generation. Because think of it. Every time you ask a child, what do you want to become? Majority of them tell you they want to become something that requires them to go and get a job from somebody to get a salary. That's the programming I'm talking about. We have been programmed to go to school. The education sector, as it is today, was not set up to help you. It was set up to create workers for the marketplace for capitalists. So it's for us to now know that, look, I'm not going to be a pawn in that. I'm going to go to school to learn to earn, to learn to develop my skill so that I can be skillful to be able to offer value.
You see, what this guy is saying is 100%. This is the problem of the Nigerian and African society. Everybody wants to go to university and waste 4 years that will turn into 6 years. Then you come out and still learn that skill that you would have just learned and perfected in 6 years. 100%. This whole university idea has been built into our heads. Waiting at the try talk now say, not be everybody supposed to go to university. Some people would have mastered some skills and some trades in that 6 years they spent in university. Obviously, 1 year youth service. What the time has changed. The time is different. Most of our parents have not been able to understand that what worked then don't work no more. Waiting mean they work for their time, no they work again. My grandfather was a court clerk. It took you maybe primary school learning certificate to be a court clerk. And he was one of the richest man in his community then. Now, clerk no even did court. Lawyers full everywhere, no job. Irony of life. University education is not as important as people make it sound in Africa. In the Western world, not so many people go and do it. That's why we still have more of Africans dominating in the university and masters and PhD outside the country. Too much school. Yet we are broke. The fastest and the best way to do it is after secondary school. You should have been sure of what you're going to do, even in secondary school. If you want to be a footballer, football academy. If you want to be anything, if you're going to university, know that you need to go to that university because that's where you need to get that trade. Lawyers, doctors, all these things right now, they are surplus everywhere. Lawyers checking everywhere. You're not going to get a job or be smart. I mean, imagine going to tell your parents that I want to be a YouTuber or a content creator. They will look at you like a joke. But obviously, they're part of the richest people right now in Africa. In the world, what am I saying? Is that the experience again?